Now, once you turn on your MPC Live, this is what you're going to see. Okay, so we see various, select demo. These are files that are already loaded in here into our MPC. And open empty project to start out, get an idea where we are. And this is our first window that we're going to see on our MPC. And it's pretty much a blank session, nothing's in here. So what we got here is we have generally a sequence, track, and then this is drum program, right? Like 3 separate rows here. And you notice here, this is an A next to it, capital A. Capital A, you can change the name. Here I can edit the data, the pencil tool you see right there. I can mute a track. I can solo a track or take it off. I can go to the next track from here. We have audio, so currently we're in MIDI. And here is audio, so if I come to here, I'm in audio. Now it changes. We have this sequence here. Still, but this is now an audio track, so I can record audio to this track. I can check out my configuration for the input of the audio. And then here we have the audio edit. So I can edit my audio right here on my MPC Live. Now here, on the left-hand side of our menu, we have our home. And here we have our normally track mode. So I can go back to home, go back to MIDI, and here we see our grid, right? And this is tracks. Right here we see more data in terms of events. Now this is the XY. XY has not been installed or downloaded onto this program, so I can insert it here. We're not going to use it for our lesson plan though. I'm going to get you familiar with the actual operation of our MPC Live. So see here under project, it's untitled. Once you click there, you'll notice it says project, all samples, programs, and sequences. Let's close that. This is folders. Same thing. See that? Okay. So here we have the beginning and the end of our sequence, right? So this is a start point, which is first measure, first beat. And it's not even moving there. This is our metronome. I can come in here and select the metronome to get my value of the tempo. So we can do the metronome and record. This is a count in. I can do record and play. Switch over again. And then I'll go to just record. Here is to run the metronome in record only. This will set the rate at which the metronome will run, normally quarter note. This will be the sound for our metronome, which is our MPC click. Now here we have the output, which is 1 and 2 for the metronome. And here's our volume right here. So I can change the volume right here, as you can see. And get it right there. And close the window. Next here we see our battery. And this is our MPC drive right there. See our battery right there? So right here we have our battery, right? Look right there, you can see the battery power right here. That's 95%, which is great. So I want to close this out. And now, since we have nothing in here at all, we want to show you what we can do. We can actually save. If we did have a project here, we would save the samples, the program, and the sequences. I prefer to save them all as one project. Then we want to go to new here, let's say. Select new. And now when I go to new, so this is a brand new item, we have select demos. So we have audio tracks, clips, pop, future house, techno, hip hop, chill, trap, and we have trap, and of course drum and bass, EDM, old school, and deep house. So for this demo, I'm just going to start out with one thing here. Go here to hip hop, and once I do, you'll notice it's loading, automatically loading the demos that come with our MPC Live. There it is. Now you see we have the hip hop template right there. So I can use my master knob right here and select different sequences. In this case, only one sequence is template. You notice here we have the hip hop kit, and that's that track. And this is the program that's on that track. Now, programs contain all the samples used in them, and all those samples are on the pads. And you can see, of course, everything's here as before. And the same thing here. We go to grid mode, and now we can see the events where everything has been recorded to in the MPC software. This is the grid mode. We can have edit start, edit the end, we can transpose, and we can look at the velocity as well. Now I go to here, I press this little arrow up, and I can see the velocities for each one of these events. Events right here, all events right there. I'll pull up so you can move this up and down too, of course. I'll see my events. So here in the events windows, we have a couple of options here. Here I can magnify. So with magnification here, I can pinch and drag open to magnify what I'm viewing. I can squeeze it into like this and get the entire view. See that? Get the entire view of what I'm looking at. So we can magnify here. Let's sort of magnify back in, get to the beginning of our sequence. So I go like this actually, and go here to the beginning. Here's the beginning. And here I can select. So I can select regions, just like that. And once you do select, you'll notice that there's a white border of any event that's been selected in the grid. Here, I can erase. I can erase that right over there. That's gone. Just erased it. Now, if I erase something I want to keep, I just go back here, do undo, and it's back. If I want to maybe get rid of it again, I can press Shift, press undo becomes redo. Once you press Shift, these bottom commands are available. Undo, redo. Here I can write something in. I say I want to put a note right there. There's a note right there. Let's undo that. So it's pretty easy to actually write, insert notes, get your view, and to do writing, erasing, selecting, and magnification within this grid. Now we see our quantized value sit right here. That's the 16th. This is start and beginning. So if I actually press play here, we won't hear anything, but I'll press start play. You'll see these numbers as they count down. Now bar 3, and then bar 4. Of course, our battery power is right here. Letting us know. And this is our grid view. Now next we have our track view, which is right here. Select that right there, and this is our track view. These are the tracks that we see. If any sequence or demo we loaded in here from our demo session, or when you make your own tracks, you will see them in terms of this view when pressing this option here. And of course, we're still in our hip hop template here. So here is the name, obviously. This is the sequence length. That's based on what the sequence length is already. This is the velocity, 100% set. It's not transposed. This is our level. This is the panning. This is the mute and the solo for each one of these tracks. So you can always just touch the screen and see how many tracks you have. Right here, currently we have 6 tracks. Right? 6 tracks total. And audio, the audio input is 1 and 2. So if I want to record audio in here, I could. And this is our audio track right here. Now the audio track is different than these other MIDI tracks right here. As you can see, the audio track has just input. It has the ability to record, which is a sample, so it seems ARM, which means ARM to sample, and a monitor to hear back what audio is being recorded in. And here is our dB level set. So we don't want to distort our input signal. We want to get approximately somewhere near 0 dB. And of course, here's our padding and our mute and solo. So once we record into this audio track, we want to make sure that we can mute it and solo it. And of course, we have timing correction here. So, see, timing correction here, we have it from the start, and this is 16th notes. This way, if you hit a pad inadvertently, it will still correct to the proper time signature. Here's our timing correct. We can change our swing value here. We can shift timing here. This is the window and the strength. These are our events, all selected in range. So all the events, selected events can be time corrected, and a range of events can be time corrected. To close the window, simply just press close. Now the next option we have here is step sequence. So here I can create steps just by going into the software and saying, okay, I want to put something right there. And I just created a step. Now, depending on what track I'm on, this is an event, which means I created a sound of that same event right there. When I want a step sequence in, I can undo this too as well. Let's go here. As soon as I do this, I'm actually just changing data and changing events right here. And I could nudge the values here too. And this is for step sequence. And you see here, this is pad 1. This is bar 1. The time division is 16th notes. There are 16 bars, 1 through 16 bars. I can nudge and move the value. I can have the presets right here. And of course, this changes the volume. Now the same thing here, we have time correction, we have bars. So in terms of bars, I can move up to the next bar. Next bar, I keep moving the bars. And you'll see here the bars are changing. I'm at bar 11. I'll go backwards here. I'm back at bar 1. This is pad select right there. I can select the pad. And when I do, you'll see it here. So I'll select this pad right here. And that's pad number 4. This pad is number 8. That's 4. Here's 3. You can select the pad, then add events. So this is a snare drum or something, or I could just come here and say, I want to put a snare right there. And I've added that event on to this track for pad 3 at bar 1. I can also make it even easier. I can go to here. I can go to the next pad. So here's pad 6, pad 7, you see pad 8. So I can move up and down and select which pad I would like to place an event at, or to look at the events for that pad here in step sequence mode. Now you can see your BPM here too. Of course, it says sequence here, and this is where we are within the song. So with the 4th bar, 4th measure, 24th step. Well, now let's see. We got you familiar so far with a lot of what's going on here. Touching the screen. Our main features are going to be the home, the grid, our track view, and our step edit. Top bar up here to see what's in the top bar menu for any event mode we actually select here. Any mode we select, it's top parts for that purpose. And of course here on the bottom we can solo mute, and this is also for any one of the selected modes. So let's get started here. Let's go to here folder. That may be easier. Here in folder, I can select and load items here. So I can select, once I have the hip hop kit loaded, I can see different samples. All the samples appear here, and I can new, save, save as, purge unused samples, or export. And these are all demos, so I'm not really concerned with that. They belong to AKAI. But what we want to do is use this with our computer. Since it does work with your computer, whether a Mac or PC, we need to teach you how to really use it with that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to load from our computers. So to load from our computer, we're going to go to menu. Now here in menu, you're going to see this chip-like icon with the name MPC right there, right? So I'm just going to click on that. As I do you want to save the changes you made to entitled? Well, no, I'm not keeping that. That's just a blank project. Don't save. And now it's looking for the computer. And now it sees the computer. Now it should have your USB cable plugged into your MPC Live on the other end into your USB input on your computer, whether a Mac or a Windows PC device. Now once you do, you will see the same thing I'm seeing right here. And you got to make sure you have the latest version of your AKAI MPC software. This current version, at the time of this recording, is 2.1. Okay, so now I'm ready to work with my MPC Live on my computer. Now it's pretty simple. You know, we can come to here, we go to menu, and we open up menu, and then we can do some of the same stuff. You also can get our MPC Live software video, which comes along with our MPC Live hardware video. So here I am in demos, and you'll see the same thing on the computer. I have demo projects, and I'll see what's on my computer from here. I can go to here, I can see what's in that first folder, and my second folder, third, fourth, and fifth folders. And here, the fourth one, we'll see we have our full MPC collection. This is from SampleKings.com, and our full collection is right here. I can pull up a lot of really great sounds from here and just load them in. But currently, I want to use the demos because that's what everyone else has got right now that we're using. See here, demo files. So I'm looking for some of the, oh, here we go. Here's all the MPC stuff. And here we have the demos expansion. So I click right there. I can say open. Go here to open it. And now it's open. So these are the samples. Actually, this is the all section here. These are the samples right here. So let's go back to here. Here, I see nothing but samples. Up and scroll up and down. These are all samples right here. All right. And here, we can see the programs. Here's our projects. Of course, here will be our sound. So right here are our projects. I can pick a project to load and see how it loads, see how it sounds, see what's going on. So this first project here is called Demo Ballard. Let's load this one up. Loading this up. The Demo Ballard. So our progress started right there, and I go back to, let's leave the menu rather, and go back to home. And here we're fully loaded. We're loaded in. So next, what I can do right here is press play, start. And now we're playing the demo. Press stop. And that's how we can load a demo project in. Now I'm going to go back to menu and then browser again. Okay, in the browser, I can load something else. I can turn my dial data wheel here. As I turn the wheel, you'll hear the audio of that selected demo. So you can almost audition it. So here we have audition, right? So here's the volume. So I can turn the volume up here for the audition. Close it again. And I can keep auditioning tracks. So and I can just go to the next one. We'll just stop on the Mac and start playing the next demo. So one's a template and one's a demo. So the template you'd use if you're going to just base all your stuff off of this deep house concept. Otherwise, the XPJ is a project file. So, as you can see, we have this icon here, right? That represents sequences. So there are no sequences for that project right there. This is the program. But these are the samples in the project. As I hit them, you'll notice here, of course we can play them. We can play the sounds, of course. Our audition's right here, so I can still turn up or down, go back into here, and hear my sounds and adjust that. If I want to keep that sound, so I want to use it for something else, I'll go here and just load it in. It's that easy. Pretty simple stuff to do. And in this section here, we can see what's going on. Now, of course, here on the left-hand side, you'll see drums, instruments, clips, samples, demos, and files right here. And I can browse from here as well by just pressing files, my files here, right? Or samples right there. We'll see samples. See, we're in samples right here. I can see the samples that are, let's say, here in this kit, or the samples in here, future house samples. I can open that up, and then these are the samples for that. And those are the samples right there. So it's an easy way to get around. I can go to clips. And then the MPC Live here knows where the clips are. The clips are right there. The clips are here. These are the programs for clips. These are garage clips. Oh yeah. So let's go to here. These are the clips. So I can open up these clips too as well. So you can search for what you want to get, find it, open it up, and explore. This is important when you first start using your MPC Live. You must understand how the software works before you can start using it to make your own music. Well, I'm back here in menu mode. This is menu mode. Here, and I'm also not in standalone. I'm using the computer along with my MPC Live. The batteries. Now here you'll see CPU usage. And this is for our computer. How much usage are we getting out of it? And this is the amount of memory right here. Now, it says browser. Of course, obviously I was in browser earlier. This is our disk icon. And here you can see we can save, of course, right? Save. And you'll notice here, MPC Documents, Home Folder, Documents, Desktop. Right? So since I'm on my computer, I can see what's on the computer. I can see the home documents. I can see the MPC documents right there. And this is what I want to see, of course, always. This is my MPC documents while I'm here. Now, you may have your own samples, which I do too. Of course, we're Sample Kings. We got tons of samples, billions it seems like. And I may want to search those out. I can do that from here too as well. But I've already done that. So let's cancel this a little bit here. Here's the browser. And when we go back to the browser here, you'll notice also that in one of these folders here, right here, we have our own sounds. So when you do select the folder, you're going to make sure you find your sounds that you have and place them in that folder right there. So that means you'll just come to here, you'll search for them, and then whenever it turns on, your MPC will always see that folder, providing you didn't erase it from your computer. Now, let's go back to menu. Here, we have preferences. So our first option in preferences is the information, it's info. MPC is right here. The software version, as you can see, is 2.1. Serial number, and of course, the firmware. Next, we have our sequence preferences. So here's 96 PPQs. And that's for our display resolution. Now here, we have instant track mute. No need. I have play track mute and solo mute events, of course, always. So that means when I track mute or solo mute, I want you to play that. We have record track mute. We have and solo events, so this is on too as well. Record, aftertouch events, place events, recorded during count-in at start point. So sometimes you start off and you're doing a count-in, tick, 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 when the metronome goes by, and then the sequence starts. This will make sure that that first time you hit it will go into the start point of that event for the sequence you're about to record in. Truncation, duration. Truncation means, of course, to cut the end or to cut the beginning of a particular sample or sequence, and the truncation duration will be set to the sequence length. The next we have here is syncing. We want to sync or MIDI sync with other devices, maybe a keyboard or MIDI sequencer. So here we can receive, which is off, or you can put it to on, depending on what you want to do. We can receive MMC, which is MIDI machine control. We can send the data. We can send MMC, MIDI machine control. We have MTC frame rate. This is a MIDI time control. And for MIDI time control actually through a frame rate of 30 frames. So in doing film, we do 30 frames per second. We would use this for that purpose. And this is the sync through other devices and with other devices using the MTC frame rate. We have our start time, which would be 0. That is for the frame rate. And the send port also. So we'd send that information through a particular port. We'd select the port here, find the port you want to send it to, come back again, there it is, and we'd find a port. It's port 1, and we'd send it to that port if you want to. Now next we have hardware. This is hardware. This is the pad threshold and the pad sensitivity. So threshold is like how much you hit it or how hard you hit it. And that level, it starts to record the time you hit that pad and it crosses that threshold. This is sensitivity and how sensitive the pad's going to be to your touch. This is the pad curve. This has to do with the ability to see the touching and the sensitivity and to adjust to that. But my suggestion to you is pretty much leave it alone. If you got a problem with any one of them, you can always check out the different setups for the pad sensitivity and the pad threshold. Now below that we have the pad response. This is the velocity response of the pad. If I hit these pads, you'll notice there, it tells you the response. That was 124 in terms of velocity. The aftertouch was 44. So if I hold it down, that's the aftertouch. And you'll see there it went to 127. If I hit it real hard and hold it down, is the aftertouch. And you can see that both of them are pretty much full. Next we have our foot switch control, which is right here. Now I have project defaults right here. And these are the default tempo right here. Here's the default tempo. And here is the default master. So they're the same thing. Go to here, click that. And the master tempo for everything that you use will always be the same tempo. And we have default sequence in bars. Well, that's 4 bars. So when you start off, make a brand new sequence, this is going to be 4 bars long. Default time signature is going to be 4/4. And if you want to make it 3/4 like a waltz, this will be 3/4. So put this at 3. Default time signature denominator. This is 4. So this will be 3/4. This goes to 3 right here. And I turn this down. That's 3/4. That's waltz time. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and so on. And over here, this is our default pad slice. That's all the pads. So default pad slice means all the pads. When I make a slice of a sample, and I may want to take a long sample, and I chop it into slices, it'll use all the pads. I may have 16 and 24 slices. It'll use each pad to place a slice on. Now next here we have autosave. This is auto load file, nothing. Template file, nothing. Sometimes you may want to auto save a file or auto load. So this is auto load. I'm auto loading these files here. And what happens is that when you turn your MPC Live on, it will load a selected file. Now this is really cool when you're working on a project and you've got to get this project done, let's say, and you go to sleep or have to do something and come back. You don't want to have to find it again. Before I actually make a sequence or anything, I want to make sure what my metronome is going to be set to. So here, I'll go right there and we'll click it again, actually. There we go. Oops, wrong. Let's go back to here. Wrong again. Right there we have our metronome. So once I go to metronome, we'll see here our count in. We'll see to enable the metronome, and then we see the rate right here and the sound. Now the output we have here is 1 and 2, which is our main out, and we can have it off or on here for the metronome, right? And here we have our volume set. So if I go back to here, you'll notice here, let's close this out actually. You'll notice here that it's sort of like off, right? So let me go back to here. I'll click on that again. I'm gonna put this to on, and now it's on. Now once I select on, it's enabled for record and play. And here the count in is for record. So when it records, it'll give me a 1, 2, 3, 4 count in, and it goes. Now I can have my counting to either be quarter notes. Let's turn the wheel here. We'll dial. We're gonna have quarter note triplets, eighth notes, eighth note triplets, 16 notes. We can go all the way up to 32nd note triplets for our counting. But generally everybody uses a quarter note counting. Now here we can change the sound. If I go to right here, I can change my sound and pick the sound I want to use, a tambourine or whatever. I still want to use a tambourine. Let's go here, beginning. Get my tambourine going right there if I wanted to. So in this case, we're in a different group. So let's go back out of here. And we're in this kit. Yep, let's go back to here. We're going to be in our drum kit now. And now, when I go back here, and I press play start, now when I go back here with press record, that's that tambourine. I want to go to here, press shaker, go to record and play. So when I go to record, and I hit play, that's record in. And that gives me this quarter note rate. And of course, this is the sound I'm going to use. Let's go back again to our original sound, the classic MPC clock. And I can control my sound right here. So I can control the audio volume just by using my hand here. I can control that volume, bring it up or down, max it out. Stop that. I can bring it back down here again. Let's go. I'm trying to pull it down. There you go. So pull up or down along this, and it change the level of my sound for my metronome. Okay, so I want to make a sequence. So a brand new sequence is selected right here. Before I was here. Press play start. Cool. So I'm gonna make a brand new sequence right here. I'm gonna go to here, get my brand new sequence. Now before I start playing this sequence, I want to make sure that I've got my sounds correct. So I hit the pads here. And then what I want to do is make sure I got a tempo. It's my tempo right here. Now my tempo is for the sequences that I can have a master tempo too. It means everything in here will be at 120. My master tempo right there. Now here we have a 2-bar sequence. So when I make a brand new sequence, this is the global default, which is 2 bars. The loop is on, and it starts at 1 and it ends at bar number 2. Now next what I want to do is sort of make sure my quantized value is correct. So I'm going to go to here, this little, where it says TC right there, and this is my timing correct. So type is start, end, length, right? So it starts from the beginning. And here I'm set to quarter notes. That means the only thing I can record are quarter notes. That means every time I hit the pad, it's only going to give me quarter notes. Let's check that out. Quarter notes here for my timing correct, which is right there. And if I go here and press record and play, see, it's just correcting it. It's pretty bad. So what I want to do right here next is leave timing correct. I know I'm right here. I don't see my grid. Got some notes I don't like, so I want to come in here. I want to erase a few of these notes here, since I am just there. And now nothing's here for 2 bars. So what I want to do, I want to go back to timing correct. So I'm going to go back to my main window. I'm going to select timing correct right here. And I want to go to 16th notes right there. And now it'll be 16th notes. It'll start correcting my time from the start. And we see here, swing is 50%, so I'm not trying to swing it. Leave it alone. No shifting. And here, we have our strength and the window. So, let's look at this right now. So let's close this out. I'm going to press record and play start. So you see it recorded exactly what I played that time. Because I'm set to 16th notes. And if we go back into our grid mode, we'll see that it covered exactly on the 16th notes. They fall in place and they're in time. So when you are going to play beats and start to make up beats on your MPC Live, you got to make sure you know what your quantized value is. Now I could probably come back in here again, and we're going to go back here. And I want to, let's see, maybe play something different. Right here, press record play. Okay, now that's a problem right there. See that? Stop this. I'm recording over the same track I want to record. You don't want to do that. Let's undo that. Press play from the top. So it's important for you not to make that mistake. That's a common mistake that everybody makes when they actually have the machine. If I'm going to record something new, I can overdub. In this case, I'm going to go here and make a brand new track. Now I'll press record and play. It's not playing back what I played. So it's trying to play it back, but it can't. So I'm trying to play some sort of triplet pattern here, but I can't get it exactly where I want it at because I'm at 16th note quantized value. So let's undo that. Let's play from the top again. So let's come back in here. I can play this. So I go back to here. I can just play it on the run too. I'm not even going to start from the top again. If you want to practice, so once you go to record and you go through once, you'll just go right to overdub. But even while I'm working here, I got a brand new track selected right there, right? I'll come here, go to record, went to overdub. No, get out of overdub. Let's try that. So I'm just recording over certain parts, tracks. I made a brand new track right here. I can make another track, come here, make a brand new track. I can say, well, on this track, I want to select a different kit. I come down to here and look for a different kit. I'll come here and say, I want to use that kit now. So I'll press record. I'm on a brand new track. I'll press this. Stop that. It's playing on and on there. That sample just keeps going on. But it's obvious that you can do a lot of stuff here. You can add kits. You can create more tracks as you roll along and making this actual track or sequence if you're going to try and do that. But the most important part of this lesson right here is the quantized value. Make sure you set the proper quantized value for when you're going to record something. Now, in this case, of course, you saw we were here. We went to 16th notes. Now, this T means triplets. I can do triplets too. So this will be 16-note triplets. By clicking that T, this is the new quantized value I can set for this thing. I can go back. Let's turn this off for the sequence here. And let's set a new track, actually. Go to new track. And here's track number 5. I can select a brand new kit or something. Here's vocals. These are triplets now. Once I press it here, you'll notice too that this is already selected as the triplet here, right? And here we are, our regular parameters, which are the quarter note, 8th note, 16th note, and of course 32nd and the 164th. So I'll come back in here and experiment a little bit. Yeah, right there. I can solo it too. Then out. And so I'm actually recording that solo part. Did you see that? Let's go from the top again. That was solo. See that solo part? It was recorded in. I was in record. So stop that. Let's undo that. Now let's play it from the top again. So what happens, I can actually record the record and mute settings into this track. This is important to know. Because sometimes I want to just record a mute setting. I may want to mute something in or out. I can make a brand new track with just mutes to it. Now in this case, I had a brand new sound. Let's do this again. I'll go back here to record. I'll press play start. Now, in order for me to mute and solo without recording it, I'll go to here, I'll turn overdub off. Now I can go to solo. Metronome's still going on. I want to get rid of that. Go back to metronome. This is the counting, and this is on. Now it's off. Back to here. Let's close it out, brother. There you go. Now, no more solo. And of course, I have right here my tempo, which I can change at any point in time. Come back to here. I may want to change it. Do I like it or not? Maybe faster. Okay, so here we are in grid right here, and in grid we can see this pattern. So I can come right here. Let's go to play it. We know it's 4 bars long, right? So I can scroll here. I can scroll back here. I'm scrolling along the grid here. And this is the section of grid we're looking at right now. So here, I can actually pinch in to my grid here and drag it a little bit here. See this? I can zoom it back out. Zoom it out. Zoom it back in again. Got my 4 bars. Now I can go back up here. Stretch it out also. I'm stretching it out so I can see everything there. So I can pinch up and down. I can pinch from side to side, horizontally and vertically, just to get the size of my view for the grid, which is kind of cool. Now this only happens here when I have this zoom, this magnifying glass selected right here. And I can go to here. I try to pinch, you can't do anything, right? So you want to go to here, and then we can actually pinch in. Now, for example, too, I can expand it. So here, I'm set to 4 bars. And I want to see the full pattern, which is like something like 32 bars, I believe. I'll make it 24 at this point. But now I got the full pattern of 24, and I can pull anywhere I want to pull in here. I can press play. Let's see where this line's going by. This is where we are currently in the track. I can stop it right here. We see where it's at right there. But we can see all the events too, right? We see every event right here within the display. Now, I want to go back to here. Let's go make it down to about 16 bars. And then I want to come over here to this little wheel right there. That's the settings. So I'm coming right here to settings. And you can see here in settings it says hit pad selects all events. And that's on. So whenever I hit a pad, this drum right here, it selected all those events. Okay, go back to here. Now here also, we can see scroll. So for example, scroll is off right here. And this is follow, and this is page. So I'm gonna go here, close this out, and see what that does. We're gonna go in here, I'm gonna get this magnifying glass and go right the way here to the end, the beginning actually, and sort of like get to the very first. I wanna see maybe up to here is good enough, right to there is excellent. So now what I wanna do is press play. There goes that line going by here, the playback head, and then it disappears. I don't know where it's at, right? So I want to go back here to settings. I'm going to go to follow. Let's follow that thing. Going to go over here, and I'm going to go back to the top again. And there it is right there. Oh, now it's moving. See that? It's moving along with it. So this is scrolling through the track. So we know we are scrolling along. Now let's go back to settings again. And this is page. And we're going to press close here. We're going to go back to the top. Next page. And the next page. I can still squeeze it in like that. Look at that. Even while it's in motion, I can do this. It'll find a page somewhere here. It doesn't yet. Gets to the end here, doesn't even go to pages now. So let's pull back in and go back over to here. So be aware of that. When you are scrolling and you pinch and move it, it upsets it. So I always make sure I go back to here. I'll select follow for me half the time, and I'll come in, I'll look at something I'm looking for, I'll look at something here, I'll say I want to change something here or there, I can do that. That's how we can set our settings for the view of our grid. Okay, so now I've got a new track set up here. Stop that. And we're going to go to right about, let's see, right here. And these are our tracks. And this is our track view right here. So there's different tracks we have going on. And before I was sort of like muting and soloing tracks. Well, here I can do it in here too. So I'll press play here. I want to mute a few tracks off. Okay, I hate that hate stuff. Pull this up out of here. So I can pull tracks in and out. So you gotta be careful. I got big fingers here, so I'm trying not to hit on the other stuff. And so you can see here, as I pull tracks in and out, I can get a sort of a mix going on, right? I can also pan stuff, so I can come in here. Let's go to here. So hard to touch it right there. Let's go right in here. As you can see, that's already panned out a lot. Now bring it back in. Now I'm back on this side. So the problem is trying to just get just a perfect movement here. And this will be the main problem you're gonna have, like I'm having right here. Let's give you an idea. I just select it right there, turn my dial like that. It's a pretty simple idea, right? So once I select it, you can do anything you want with it. Come back to here. Let's go to center. Turn it right there. So I can actually use my dial to change some of the parameters, which is really kind of cool. Here, of course, we see the velocity. I can control my velocity from right here. Change the dial also as well. I can come over here. Change the velocity again. So it's kind of cool to work here in this position where you have the tracks laid out. You can see them. You can scroll up and down, see what's going on, see what you like, what you don't like, and sort of like just edit those tracks up. The mute, also the solo, the panning, and the level. So for right here, let's go back to the top. Go to here. So I turn it down, I'll turn it up. And back out of mute. So next I want to talk about the step edit mode. So I go right here, I'm in step edit. And here in step edit, you'll see I can select a pad. So currently, let's go right here actually and look for a pad. That's the pad chosen. See how it's green right there? The rest of them are still yellow. So I'm looking for a pad. We'll try that one. And now it says pad 11 here, right? So hit a pad, you got pad 11. So in this procedure, in step edit, I can actually put my parts in stepwise. Just pick up pads and put them in, they're going to go there. So here we can see this is the pad, pad 11. Here we see we're at bar 1, right? And you'll notice this little green thing right here, and this is where the current position of the pointer is at to where we are in this sequence. I'll go to the top again, you'll see this little green thing go across here. See it's going right there? And it disappears. So on to bar 2. So I'll start from top again. Here's bar 2. See 2 there? Here's bar 3. See 3 there? Here's bar 4. See 4 there? Back to bar 1. So it can get tedious going back and forth between bars. So what I will do though, I'll come here and I may go like, this is bar 1. That's pad 1, so we're here. I don't want to be here. So I want to go back to here. I want to be right there. So I'm get out of that, go back here to bars and stuff where I'm at. Bar 1. And now I can come in here and put these in. Now watch this. So I put those parts in by just doing this in the step edit mode. Now I can go back and put them in everywhere actually. And this means I'm currently here, that's what that means right there. I can go to my next bar. Right there. And I'll just play from the top. That's bar 2 coming up. So I can put in any sound I have on a pad in any place I want to. And this is also based off the quantized value. Now for example here, this is in a division, time division of 16th notes, right? So let's get rid of all this. So you can say go back to the first bar. Nothing's there at all now. And I can go to here and change my quantized value if I want to 16ths or 16-note triplets or 32nd note triplets. And then I can insert whatever sound I want to in its events anywhere within this 4-bar range. And this is how you would do step edit. Okay, another important feature here is the menu, and this will help you get around the MPC Live easier. So menu is a really important feature in the MPC Live, and here once I do select menu, you'll see that we can go to sample edit. I can have samples in here and edit them. I can go back to and look over the samples that I actually have that are in the machine already loaded, and I can view your samples right here. I see my samples right here, of course. That's the sample. See, it's looping right through. That's the entire sample right there. I can change the start point. I can go to here and change the end point. We have loop lock is on right there. This is the tuning of the sample. Let's change the tuning a little bit. Bring it down and back down again. Now, as I change this tuning, it doesn't change. But watch this. So, that's how I can play the sample back. Now here, of course, we have a tempo. So I can change the tempo actually. Let's go down further. It's not changing. See, it's not changing at all. So what this is telling us, though, is that that's the tempo this sample is actually at. So when you see this, you're really not changing the tempo of the sample whatsoever. Here is the root note. That means the pitch that that sample will be at, if I have a keyboard out, is middle C, and that's the pitch it'll be. If I select any of the pitch at all here, it will change according to the keyboard I use. That means it'll change the actual normal sound. That means that middle C will be the normal sound. Anywhere above middle C, which is C3, will be higher. Anywhere below C3, it'll be lower. It'll sound lower in pitch. Now, of course, we can zoom into our sample, and either here from the front or back here, and pull back out. Right here, we see where the sample's assigned to, and what pad it would be assigned to right there. We can close this out here, and that's how that sample section works. Here, we can process also as well. We can discard the sample, get the right size. You can say, I want to get the beginning or the end of the sample. Right there. Let's go back into here. There you go. I can discard. I can delete a section of the sample. I can silence a section of the sample. We can extract a section. We can normalize the sample. If it's too low, we can increase the volume, as shown here by this little diagram. We can reverse the sample. Let's reverse the sample. This might be easy enough to do. I'll say, do it. And now I'll play it again. I'll do undo. So we can undo, obviously. I just want to get you an idea of how it works when processing a sample and how fast you can do that. So here we are again. Back to that, we got a fade in, we have a fade out, and we can pitch shift, and we can time switch the sample to fit the BPMs you want to let them fit. Now, I suggest you experiment with that with samples and you pull them in. It's pretty easy to do, and we'll cover this more in a series on the computer. But I want you to understand how certain areas work within the menu. So this next section is the program edit section. So here in the program edit, I can control the volume of the program, the polyphony here. So I play this program back. I go to here. I can control the program totally right there. Let's stop this here. Now here I also have the pad off of pad on. So I have a pad. I may want to assign another sound to that pad. And here are A11, right? That's the pad A11. So I can control the volume of that pad. I can have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sounds to trigger with that pad also. So I can come to here. I can trigger a different pad. So let's say we go back to menu again. We're here in program edit. And let's sort of play it. Stop it. Okay, I'm going to go back to edit here. And I want to trigger the sound. I'm going to go to here. And I want to trigger number 9. And here, I want to trigger a different sound, number 7, or 8 rather. That means that this pad, number 1, is also triggering pad 9, pad 8, pad 5, and pad 14. So I can have this simultaneous triggering going on. This is kind of cool sometimes when I want to maybe use 2 bass drums and have one lower than the other one and trigger the 2 bass drums at the same time, or snare drums or tambourines or whatever, or to thicken a sound up or to sort of give it a different timbre to the note of that drum. Now let's take this off of here. So let's go back to here, just tap them, and we're going to just get it back to where it normally should be at. Now here, this is a mute trigger. And what happens, let's say if I have a hi-hat, and they come in the same output, I know that once that open hi-hat hits, I want to, this lasts longer than this. So when I have this, cut that off. So what I would have happen here is you can see I hit the pad, This is 7. This says 8. I would have the 7 cut off 8 by using a trigger. So let's say this is 7, 8. So this is a trigger. Here's 8. And then when it hits, it'll trigger. So these are sounds will be triggered and then hit. So what happens here, it mutes it when it's hit. Now next I want to go back outside of the here and go back to menu again. And here we have list. And this is a list of the sounds. So I play it for me from the top. A list of all the events that happen. This is all the events right there. Each pad, how hard it's hit, the velocity of certain sounds. These are the events. Go back to main again. Hit menu. Here, I'm back to the browser again, as we showed you before. Here's sample edit. I can actually, this is the sampler actually. I can get my sample input here, set my levels for my sampler right here. I can arm this, it means it's ready to go. It's waiting for the sound to come in. Once it passes this threshold level, it'll start to record. This is the maximum length of that sample. I can change the length of the sample as I record the sample in. Also, this is the input for the sample 1 and 2. That means we're going to have a stereo sample. I can come to here though and change it. It can become stereo mono, depending on what I would like to have. Right? Now here I can go to a slice. We'll have slices of samples. I'd have a pad tap and pad hold for that sample. Go back to menu. We have a looper here. So I can loop my samples in here, loop them up. Looper for the samples. Go back to menu again here. We have this channel mixer where I can mix the sounds in. So for example, I'll come to here and I'll press play start. I can bring the sound down, see that? So I'm gonna mix my levels up. This is the guitar. Bring that down somewhat. I want to mute that guitar. Matter of fact, I'll do this. That's like a muted. We'll get out of this here. I want to select this one here. Solo. That's solo there. So I've solo selected here. But see, they're all soloed. Then they're muted again. See that? Then they're not. You gotta get used to it there. I didn't even realize it did that sometimes. So here though, I can see this is the kit here. Right? And so I've got panning too here. It's panning. So I can turn my dial here and pan. Stop this. And here's the volume also. So if I select the sound, I could just change its level here, level, and panning. So I can see the level here for all the selected sounds in this particular sequence. Then this is for bass. That's one of the basses right there, which is, where is the bass at? Right here. I can go to here also and select the panning for the bass. I can pan the bass anyway I want to pan that bass. I'll see those parameters here and here as well. It's like a track mixer. I can also add inserts in here, like compressor, a reverb or a gate or whatever, and I can route those inserts. Here we are routing everything to 1 and 2. I go back to menu again, And here we have pad mute. I can just mute a pad. So let's go back here. We'll play it from the top. Use a pad mute. Now I'm bringing those sounds back in. And I can pad mute. And I'm doing this to that program. Let's go back to menu again. We have track mute. These are the tracks. I'll press play from the top. Nothing's playing. Stop it. This is track mute. I can mute a group if I want to. Mute a group. This is the time division on how it would mute. So here, time division is off. But if it was on, and I do, let's say, 1 bar, and I go to close here, and I play from the top again, so it waits for 1 bar for it to actually stop muting. So I can set the timing correction for my mute, which is kind of cool, actually. Let's go back here to main. And next we have here is next sequence. I can choose to play the next sequence. If I have more than 1 sequence, then we have song. I can arrange everything into a song, which will make it easier. I would have 1 sequence here, 1 sequence here, and 1 here. I can select my sequence, but here I only have 1 sequence so far in, but it's pretty easy to do. Once you have more than 1 sequence, you just select it and you just want to put it right there. I can delete or insert a sequence. So come to here, I can insert a sequence right there. No, I want to insert a sequence over here. So it depends on what you want to do. Let's go back to the main menu again. And here we also have the cue link. We have the pad color, change the pad colors right here. I can pick different colors on my pads, which makes it pretty easy to do. I can say, well, I want to change this color here, and yellow. We got different colors we can select here. And empty pads, it says bright and velocity, right? Empty pads here. So I would just single pad or all pads. I can go to all pads, they're all that 1 color. I select the color here, they're all pads. I'll go to single pad, and I can select the single pad right here, and that color becomes white. I can go to here, pad here, and that pad becomes purple. Let's go back to the menu, and then we have MIDI control right here, and pad perform. And what this means here is I can have different notes set up for each pad. I may have a keyboard set up, and I want a keyboard to trigger it. I want to know what note it is.